Okay, we're live. So, hello everybody. This is Bradley with Semantic Mastery, and I have Adam on with me as well. And today is the Hump Day Hangout for SEO Q&A. Any kind of questions you guys have about SEO or marketing, local SEO, video SEO, anything like that, feel free to ask, and we're here for you.
Well, Brian, let's start with you. You got any questions, or you got anything on your mind you wanted to ask?
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Title tags. If you're using title tags for local SEO, and you're using like just say Baltimore, Maryland, and you have a couple different services like that you want to use for your homepage, how would you put that in a title tag without putting like Baltimore IT support, Baltimore managed services, Baltimore computer repair?
You wouldn't. You'd go with the most broad term generally and put that on your homepage, and then you'd have individual pages on your site targeting each keyword individually.
Okay.
So typically what you want to do with a page on your with each keyword that you want to rank for, you should have its own page, or depending on how closely related they are. If they're closely related enough, then you can put them all on one page, but what I would do in that case would be to select the most broad of keywords and use that as the title tag, because it will encompass all of the others as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like somebody told me my title tag was wrong. The company name is Baltimore Computer Solutions, and I put Baltimore IT Support dash Baltimore Computer Solutions.
Well, that would make sense only because you're targeting IT support would be your keyword, and Baltimore Computer Solutions happens to be the title of your business.
Okay.
So that would make sense, because typically what I do and what most people do is they'll put their keyword that they're targeting and in their brand name anyways. So that would make sense. The only thing that I would concern myself with that is I would possibly change my title tag in that situation to be IT support or solutions. Did you say it was IT support?
Yeah.
Okay. I would change the title tag to be IT support dash Baltimore Computer Solutions, because you already had Baltimore once in the title tag. Does that make sense?
Okay, so Google will see Baltimore IT support if I Google that.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Because see, Google was gonna. In fact, you can test this, because what you can do is go to Google and just search various keyword phrases like that and see, and whatever Google bolds in the search results page, the SERPs, you'll see any keyword that you search for that Google is either the exact match keyword or what Google considers a synonymous term will be bolded on that page.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And are they still using H1 tags? Are they still spidering that?
Yeah, H1 tags is typically, if you're using WordPress, which I believe I've looked at your site before, Brian, haven't I?
Well, I redid it. I redid it. So.
I haven't seen it since, but yeah, if you're using WordPress, by default, about 95% of all WordPress themes, the title of the page itself is an H1. Okay.
Gotcha.
So if you're using an SEO plugin like Yoast or All-in-One SEO or what's the other one? Ultimate SEO. If you're using one of those types of SEO plugins, then you can also set the SEO title of the page. And typically, the way that the hierarchy of what Google looks at when initially, at least when it looks at your page, is it's going to look at your SEO title first, which is what shows up as the title tag in the search results. Okay. Then number 2 would be H1, and then and your URL as well. So if you get your keywords in the URL, but you don't want to overdo that either. Okay.
Are they still looking at keywords?
I'm sorry?
They still look at keywords?
Not meta keywords, no.
Okay. Gotcha.
Tags, yes. If you're posting with posts, then they'll look at tags, but also there are plugins for WordPress called Tag Pages that you can use, but honestly, I don't even care about that anymore. I don't worry about it.
Gotcha.
So.
Cool.
Okay. See if we had any questions on the event page. Adam, can you see the event page?
I just got a message about it. I'm kind of all over the place here.
Okay.
There we go. I've got it. Yeah.
It doesn't look like there's any other
Let's
questions at
see.
the moment. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I think we got some people who probably should be showing up in a little bit, but because we had
Yeah, I
several more people signed up.
tried to get it started a few minutes earlier, but let's see. You have to forgive me while I send out a message to these people, make sure that they're on the event page. Participate.
So, Brian, do you do local SEO for just for yourself and marketing your own business, or do you also offer the services to others?
Just for myself right now. Basically, I've used my business model for social media, like on LinkedIn, to help others, and then I may do the web design. I don't know yet.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, just curious about everybody we end up talking to, because everybody's got their own thing they're doing, so you never know exactly what people are up to.
Sure.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know that I spoke to Brian on the phone and via email through somebody else, kind of like a third-party introduction. And Brian, it's interesting to see you jump in on this kind of training stuff because I like that when I talk to business owners and then I say, look, if you want to do it on your own, come check us out, because honestly, you know more about your business than I would. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
If you can learn it, most people just don't have the stomach for it. So.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work. I'm more, as I said, I'm more on the social media side with LinkedIn. I just closed a $4,000 a month deal on there.
Nice.
So it does work, as you all know.
Yep.
That's cool. You got some neat stuff you can set up, and even just exploring some other avenues. I like Bradley said, I don't know your business, but what is too obviously that's working for you. And then if there's any others, I don't know if obviously any of the other large platforms do anything in the IT kind of world, but
yeah, I'm more on the network monitoring side for small, large businesses, and then some government contracting.
Okay, so definitely LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it looks like we had some other questions in the actual community that were posted earlier, so I'll probably jump in there and grab a few of those out so we can answer some of those as well. So give me one moment to get into there.
Good deal. Yeah, I didn't have anything. I've just been looking at content curation stuff. I've been starting to dive into that since that's something I'm going to be putting together for the members, but just looking at some various stuff.
By the way, how did that plugin that you were testing?
Yeah, it was a buzz burner plugin, and overall it's a lukewarm. It's got some. It's got maybe one or two use cases I think is going to be my end opinion. But I set it up, let it run for about a week, and then I'm going to actually put together a quick video. And it's okay, but it's nothing special. I thought it was going to be a lot more, especially for a monthly charge plugin. It really is pretty inferior to like Peter Garrity's RSS magnet.
Right. Okay.
So, and you can do a one-off. You can buy it for $100, but it's way overpriced for $100, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to find a good curation plugin, anyways.
Yeah, I would just go with. I mean, if you're gonna, the problem with this for me is it does know it's all. Okay, it's not all, but the best I think is it can pull from multiple RSS feeds. That's nice and all, but you really can't put anything else in there. And so, as an automatic mechanism, it's pretty useless. Wanted to use it as kind of a roundup, and then go in and set it to draft and go in and edit the post yourself, and then that I think is where it might work. But I think people were asking about it as more of an automated solution.
All right, there's a few questions in here I think we can answer today because we got enough time that I think some of these are important. I know unless somebody else jumps in, which since I'm not looking at the screen, Adam, just let me know, please.
Sure.
Okay. Jaime asks, I recently watched Bradley's video on Bright Local listings. We have almost all listings in several high DA sites. Do we still need to use Bright Local service? This was a question that I thought was interesting because the blog post he's referring to is on the Semantic Mastery blog. It's just, if you click on blog, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the 2014 local search ranking factors report by Searchmetrics came out, I don't know, probably a month ago now. And it was interesting. I kind of dissected that a bit, which I found to be the most interesting of facts on that list, and that was domain authority. It kept repeating. It kept coming up for all the different types of metrics that they were looking at, and the correlations between the sites that they had analyzed and what the common factors were. Domain authority kept coming up and coming up, and because of that, I did kind of a video blog post on that, on domain authority, and I had mentioned also in there that I use Bright Local as a great service for citations, and not only tracking citations and keeping track of what's, how many you've built, and to see your progress as more are being built, but also as a service which they have just called Citation Burst. And while I'm talking about this, I can show that site. Let me just show. I want to go to their public side. All right, so Bright Local. So these guys right here, if they've got several different services, one is called Citation Tracker, which is this. If you take a look at this, this will actually, you can put companies' information in there. If you're doing this for clients, I do a lot of this for clients, so I use this a lot for generating reports, as well as keeping track of my own lead gen properties and that sort of thing. But it will go out and locate all the citations that are out there on the web and bring them into one clear, clean report, so you can take a look at them. And you can sort by domain authority, or you can sort by citation value. And it's very interesting. And you can see, for example, I don't know how big this is coming across, but let's see if I open that up. It'll show you, especially if you run the report monthly, it'll show you the how many more citations you're building as you continue to go, which is great for client work. Plus, just to keep track on yourself if you're doing this for your own business, like you are, Brian. It's a great service for $35 a month. I can't speak highly enough about it. So the next thing is, if we go over to Citation Burst. Right here, you can actually hire them to do citations, which is $3 a piece to get them done, unless you buy in bulk. Like if you buy 1,000 at a time, then I think they're $2 a piece. But what's interesting is you can sort by domain authority or citation value, either one, and then you can select to have them. The ones that are green are ones that are or the ones that, let's see, I guess are yellow or already listed. The ones that are green are no. So it means you can submit, you can check to have them build those. And in that domain authority, that 2014 local search ranking factors blog post I did, I mentioned that I found that since the Pigeon update, which was back in July, the end of July of this year, that it's not necessarily about the quantity of citations anymore, which it had been for the longest of time. Like, I mean, literally, he who had the most citations usually ranked best in maps. But I found that not to be the case anymore. It's more about citation value, quality, than it is quantity. So, in other words, maps has really caught up to what the organic algorithm has been for well over a year now, right? Which is quality versus quantity. And so my point is that instead of going out and purchasing citation packages that build 50 or 100 or 1,000, 200 citations at a time, which is what I used to always do, now I go here and sort by the highest valued citations, and I purchase those first. And I only do batches of 10 at a time. And if you do 10 at a time here, it's $30. So you do this once a month. And usually by the second or third month, usually around the third month, you end up ranking in maps anyways, provided that all your on-page signals on your site are correct as well. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I just wanted to cover that briefly. Let me go back to the... we're not going to cover the PBN stuff, not today, we won't. As requested, okay, regarding videos, I'm wondering if you could touch on ranking videos globally. Okay, yeah, and it's funny because Chris Gant asked this question today, actually, of me, privately, so this would be good to cover. Because I know most people here are doing videos for local sites, but if you have any tips on doing videos to rank globally, that would be awesome. All the stuff that we teach about ranking local videos, you do the same thing for ranking global videos or national videos, depending on what your target market is. You just do more of the off page. That's it. It's the only difference. I'm assuming with more competition globally, the silo may need to be tighter, or some other things needed for videos to thrive in a global competitive environment. Well, if Jonathan means silo, if he means playlists, then yeah, that would help using playlists. But here's a little trick. Especially if you're doing local videos, I don't suggest mixing other people's videos in with a playlist. But if you're doing, it depends on, like, if you're doing a niche specific or something globally, but it's not, necessarily local, there's probably already a bunch of other videos out there that have information. I wouldn't use like other affiliates videos, obviously, if I was trying to do affiliate or CPA offers, but you could probably find informational type videos about the product that's being sold or that you're trying to sell or whatever it is that you're trying to do. There are probably other types of videos out there that aren't necessarily salesy type videos, so to speak. And if you collect those and stick those into a playlist with your own video, it's going to give your video a boost. And again, you can build links back to that playlist itself. So that's one. When he says silo, I'm assuming that that's what he means is by siloing the channel using playlists, because I know I talk about that a lot too. So, but yeah, just as a very simple answer to that question is regarding videos globally, ranking globally versus locally. The only difference is more off-page signals, nothing else. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Was there any other questions at the moment?
I've got one for you just off the top of my head. I hadn't thought it through, so this may be a quick answer, but is there something like a Socisynd you could use for like automating stuff coming out of a YouTube channel?
To where you wouldn't have to manually do anything?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of. I mean, not that I know of and have tested. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've used like Vagex and
no, you don't want to use
several other
that.
Services.
Not anymore. You don't want to buy any spam views at all anymore.
Yeah. But more from the social side of things, as a Socisynd type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, the IFTTT networks.
Yeah.
That's literally what I do. I just build more of them and more of them. So, for example, with the Virginia Hangouts channel, we syndicate across multiple properties, or whatever channel you want. You can go into IFTTT and connect YouTube as the trigger, and then have it syndicate to all of the properties. Which I think we use 15 or 16 properties right now in IFTTT to syndicate videos, and you can connect that same channel to multiple networks.
Yeah.
So that's Adam. That's the only thing I consider stable is IFTTT, because there are a million plugins that do stuff like that. I don't know that any integrate directly with. There is one that works to syndicate videos or repost videos to PBNs or other websites for that matter, and it's called. I don't know if they have a sales page or not, but let's take a look. Simple Video Press. Yeah, this is it. This is a good plugin. I don't know what they're charging for it now, because we got it during the launch.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Damn, that's cheap. Is that monthly or? No, that's just a one. Wow, that's actually a very good price. Anybody doing YouTube stuff, this is a pretty good plugin here. I know because I use it, and you can actually syndicate your videos automatically from a YouTube channel to other websites. So, if you wanted to use, I wouldn't call those PBNs or private blog network sites at that point. I'd call them broadcasting sites.
Yeah.
Because that's typically what really that's what you're doing. Oh, one word of advice though, however, if you're going to use something like this, or if you're just going to use IFTTT to do it, would be to not, in this case, in this plugin, there's a checkbox in the options of the plugin options that allows you to not import the video descriptions from YouTube. Yeah. And I don't suggest you do that, because I've had a number of sites in the most recent, Google, when they came through and de-indexed a bunch of sites, which was just about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago.
Oh, Skyfall.
Huh?
Skyfall.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was, and it was right around the. I guess it was a Skyfall because it was right around that time. But when a bunch of PBNs got de-indexed, and you heard a lot of people complaining about it, I had several broadcasting sites de-indexed because they had imported the YouTube description, and it's a bit spammy because a lot of the times you put links in the YouTube descriptions, right, going to other people's sites and all that sort of thing. And all the sites that I had that were just embedding the video, and then maybe a link back to the video, and that's it. So a link back to YouTube. All of those survived. So what I would suggest is going, if you're going to syndicate videos to other websites other than Web 2.0s, like to your own self-hosted sites, that you do not import the video descriptions unless your video descriptions are incredibly clean without a bunch of outbound links. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Good deal. Yeah, and I've also seen that there's, and this may be in some of the stuff you've already done. I was just poking around today with a couple of my networks, and that Dailymotion and Vimeo are both in IFTTT.
Yeah, the problem with Vimeo is Dailymotion can get away with a lot of stuff, but Vimeo, if you try to use like a keyword-rich title, like a local keyword title, like roof repair, Fairfax, Virginia, or something like that, they will automatically ban that. They'll terminate that video. They'll remove it. Yeah. And you have to have like a conversational type title or something in order to get in Vimeo. So I just stopped even trying. Dailymotion you can get away, and actually Dailymotion videos will rank fairly easily too. So.
Good deal. Yeah, I've got a few in Vimeo that have stuck, but yeah, I know that they generally, I think they just try to push people to their pro plan for commercial videos.
Cool. Okay, back to the events page. Looks like Michael Bose and Najib, it looks like you guys are on the events page. Let me see. If you have any questions, I'm going to type that in. I'm going to wrap it up here in just a minute. Next week will go a little bit smoother since now I know what Webinar Jam is requiring additional steps. Okay, cool. Brian, do you have any other questions? I know you had asked a few other questions of me and some of the other, like local keyword research or anything. Anything you want to cover?
There's an MSP website designer out of Canada, and I think he uses like an RSS aggregator to import into blogs. Is that like good to have, or does it penalize you? I mean, he has tons of them. Like they're big. He has two big companies in Baltimore. I know that, and he posts the same content like everywhere, and they're coming from other sources.
Well, it's not. It depends. If you're giving attribution back to the source, then you can use it because you're linking back to the credits. You're attributing where it came from. Typically, those sites aren't very. They don't have very much longevity because Google will eventually call those spam sites unless you mix in your own voice or your own opinion. So in other words, curating, which is what we do a lot of in my own business. I mean, I've got outsources that's what they do is they curate. So for example, with private blog network sites, a typical private blog network site would be where somebody would go out and buy an expired domain that has PageRank or domain authority, that sort of thing, and then they would put an article on it. They'd retheme it for their own stuff, put an article on it with a link back to their site. But then it sits dormant. There's like, generally it's just an article. It's got a link back, and that's it. But what I do is I take sites and I theme them to a specific industry, broad enough to where it can cover more than just one site, but specific enough to where it's all in the same general ballpark of some sort of industry or niche. And then have curators go out and find, and here I'll actually show a simple process of this very quickly. But here's a great source to find content. It's called buzzsumo.com. This is great for curating content. If you're curating content, this site right here is great because you can search for any type of topic whatsoever, and it's going to give you the most socially active posts in that particular for that particular topic. So, for example, if we were to look at, let's just say, I don't know, let's say IT support. I don't know how socially active some of those would be, but let's find out. Click search. Now, if you can see, this is showing from the past year, but if we were to say, like, just from the past month, what is the most active? I mean, look at this. There's, let's see. What IT support's probably not a good one because it's thinking of it as it. Let's say computer. Let's just use computer support. Right. So we're looking at, like, for example, how can I make sure my new computer isn't a dud by Lifehacker. This has got 185 Facebook shares, LinkedIn shares, tweets, Google Pluses. So this right here would be great for you, Brian. Something like this would be a good article to, if we open it up, we'll take a look at it, to grab a snippet of the text out of here and post it on your blog, and then but link back to this as the source, but then write your own opinion. And I know you were talking about somebody else that you know, but I'm just using you as an example. So in other words, what it does is it makes it incredibly easy to find content, because you don't have to worry about, well, what am I going to blog about today? You just go look and see what's popular in your industry. Search a couple different keywords and find out what is popular, that's trending, and then you can go back, open up that article, grab a piece of it, and then put a link back to the source and say, okay, I think this article is good because of this, but however, this is what, whatever, and then you can find additional articles to also support it. You can also do the same with YouTube videos. For example, when I tell my curators to curate articles, I tell them to use 3 content sources. That could be a YouTube video and 2 articles, or 2 YouTube videos and 1 article, whatever, any combination of that. 3 content sources. And so essentially, you write an opening paragraph or an opening statement, then you cite one source and a snippet from that particular article. Then you inject your opinion again, and then you cite another source, and then you inject your opinion again, and you cite one last source, and again, generally will be a video in there somewhere, and then a closing paragraph. And when I say paragraph, it can just be a few sentences, because now what you've done is you've taken other people's content, but you've added your own opinion, so you've added value to that. And Google will index that and actually give it, will treat it well, instead of considering it duplicate or spam or scraped content. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess, is there any way to automate that?
Well, that's what Adam was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
In the beginning of this session, there are applications out there that will do automation. However, I don't suggest doing automated content as a tier 1 link. At tier 2 and beyond, it's okay, but I wouldn't try building links back to my money site using automated curated content.
Gotcha. There
are applications that do that. For the one that I use a lot and that Adam was just talking about is Peter Garrity. It's a plugin called WP RSS Curator, or I'm sorry, RSS Magnet. RSS Curator is one that you use on your money site, but or if you've got people manually curating on your PBN sites, you can use the RSS Curator plugin. But WP RSS Magnet will do automated curated posts for you. But again, I would only recommend that at tier 2 and beyond.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and there's another cool piece of software out there called the Curation Suite. That's good on anything, and it's manual though, it's not automatic, but it really helps speed up the process. So once you've found an article you want to use, it auto imports it, it grabs it can grab images, it can grab videos, it'll section out the content so that you can import certain sections, like a paragraph or a sentence at a time. Auto attributes, it's pretty slick stuff.
Here's another one too that's, again, it's not automated, but it's called Kudani. And this is something that you can use also to curate. And what's interesting is, I think, like what Adam was just saying, this does something similar where you can post to your WordPress blogs from inside the application. So like you curate within this application, and then you just hit the publish button, and as long as you've entered your you can enter in all your blogs ahead of time, and it will go out and post to those blogs that you assign the content to. But it's not, again, it's not automated. But I don't recommend automated content pointing directly to the money site. Like I said, I can't recommend that, because even if it still works right now, Brian, at some point it's going to be cause problems. It's going to end up tanking your site. So I always suggest going for something that's more sustainable.
Sure.
So. Okay, well, I think that's it for the 30 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up for today. Sorry there wasn't as many attendees today as I had hoped, but I think that was partially my fault for not realizing the application had required an additional step. But we'll be back next week on Wednesday at the same time, 4 o'clock, 4 to 4:30. If you have any questions, bring them, ask them on the events page. That's fine. We will see you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Thank you.